CTV reporter Vashi Kapelos calls out the Liberal House leader for a lack of clarity on the budget.
But we believe the budget is of a piece, and we were very, very happy that it was able to attract the majority of parliamentarians.
But a very slim majority. A majority, to be fair, but a very slim majority, right? By just two votes and the necessity of abstentions. And so I'm not talking about amending the budget, and we've spoken about this before, but the opposition continues to say, even in the lead up to the introduction of the budget, they did not feel that what your government did in the way of conversation and consultation was meaningful. I understand that you have a position to advance, but you have many times said that Canadians did not want an election, that they've just had one. So why wouldn't you do everything in your power in the spirit of minority parliament to make sure that wasn't the case?
Well, I can certify that there were many robust exchanges with members of opposition parties over the course of the last couple of weeks leading up to the vote. I can assure everyone that we've heard out the Conservatives, the New Democrats, the Bloc Québécois, on the things that are important to them. We were able to point to things in the budget that would in fact satisfy some of those concerns. So I don't agree with the premise at all that we were not open to discussions or to exchanges on the budget, but a government must present a budget and opposition parties must decide whether they're going to support it or not. This is a time-worn tradition in Canada, and we're very, very gratified that after all of those discussions and those exchanges that more parliamentarians voted for the budget than those who voted against it.
I do want to ask about a couple of things in the budget now that it will advance, in particular in relation to something that I know matters to many of your constituents, and that is the cuts to the public service. The union representing the public service is on the Hill today. They're talking to MPs. If I could ask you bluntly, Minister, how many public servants currently employed will lose their jobs?
Well, we don't know the answer to that question. The fact is that there is natural attrition. It's hard to predict, although there are, of course, historical patterns. There will be a voluntary retirement package that people will be able to access, and that may well accelerate retirements and hence avoid layoffs. I've said, I think to you and others in recent times, Vashi, that I believe that the impact on people in voluntary departures will be minimal, and that is certainly a desirable thing. We believe in our public service, we believe in their contributions, and we have a lot of work to do. So we're going to be counting on a robust, rejuvenated public service as we deliver this very exciting set of programs and initiatives to Canadians.
I'm wondering what evidence you have to support the idea that attrition and some sort of retirement incentive alone can get you to the target of an additional 30,000 job cuts, because I have not seen any outside analysis that supports that. And I think there are a lot of families tonight of public servants, and those public servants themselves, like I said, many of whom are in your riding, who have no clarity at all from your government about whether they are about to lose their job. Can you offer them that clarity tonight?
Well, one job loss is too many, and we want to avoid those. And I would just, in terms of perhaps resetting your question just a little bit, we've already gone through, and the budget gathers up some reductions and restraint that has occurred already in the past 12 to 18 months. So a number of positions have already been eliminated. These developments have been widely reported, and those are counted in the numbers that you just cited. So again, I just want to reiterate, we've not gone into this with any kind of objective of people losing their jobs. We would find that regrettable if that were widespread. I believe it will be minimal. I believe that we've approached this with a scalpel and not a hacksaw like others would bring to this job. And we're going to make sure that we have a robust public service that can help us deliver on this budget and on our priorities.
Respectfully, Minister, what does minimal mean? Because I actually did, in my calculation, separate the jobs that have been eliminated through attrition, because the budget identifies 40,000, 10,000 have already been gone through attrition. So 30,000 is what you're left with. Attrition alone will not get you there. There is no outside analysis to support that point. When you say you're hopeful there will be minimal job loss, quantify if you could what that means. And if you can't, why not?
Well, again, the public service is a complex organization. There are, in some places, defense, for example, opportunities open up as priorities shift to that category of spending, and that will correspondingly generate some employment in the public service. In other places where a program or an initiative has been deemed surplus or subject to restraint, that may engender, of course, some reductions depending on who occupies those jobs, someone close to retirement, someone who wanted to move on to another challenge in any event, which is hard to predict at this point. You will see, I think, very few involuntary job losses throughout the public service, and we have every hope that we can minimize those things.
The budget, though, offers very little in the way of transparency as to which departments will see what level of cuts or what kind of cuts or how many. Again, I take your point that there is work to do to figure that out, but if I'm a public servant, imagine yourself being in their shoes, listening to this tonight, you have no detail to provide them any comfort other than you hope that the cuts will be minimal.
Well, I have no trouble putting myself in their shoes because I live among them. They're my neighbors, they're my friends. I speak to public servants every day. I respect and value the work that they do. And I understand that these cause uncertainty. We have a plan. We have a plan that we think minimizes the impact on public servants, but we also have a sizable deficit, as we've discussed many times. We've also made significant investments in programs and in projects that we think are going to help the economy move and generate more job opportunities. And we'll be very, very focused in Ottawa-Gatineau and right around the country at making sure there continues to be robust employment opportunities in the public sector and, of course, in the private sector.
The Liberal Party has a track record for screwing things up, so it wouldn't shock me if this ends up in that pile as well. Anyway, I would like to know what you think down in the comment section below, and have a good one.